Hello, welcome back to Focus Buddy Part 4. I've been working on assets and getting back to the same point as last time before the restart. So here is the speed drawings for some of the assets that I've done so far. So I've worked on a lot of the stuff for the timer section, which is like the slider and the background, as well as some tab buttons and button backgrounds and things like that. This way it just doesn't look boring, because in Godot you're able to change everything and have like a flat textured thing and no real design, and I wanted to have something with a little bit more cutesy or a little bit more design to it. For the slider frame button, I wanted to show time slots, so it took me a while to figure out the exact placements of where everything needed to be. So it goes from 5 to 60, 5 to 30 to 60 to 90 and 120, because those are probably the most common times that will be used. I also did work on a mouse that I have now decided I don't like because of the swirl on it, and because it's too small, it's too pixelated and you can't really see it. So the tab buttons, these are the buttons that you swap to the settings, the decorate and the session starter. This is at the top of the little panel that you see at the bottom where you can start things and do things. So this code here is just me writing it to make it work and implement the button so you can swap tabs and things, as well as when you're in a session you're not able to swap the tabs over. Buddy states. So I want the buddy to be able to move freely around the space and not have one stayed animation. So I've made a temp circle that has different colors to show the different animations. So there's pink for walking and green for breathing, etc. To set up this, there's an array that you'll see that has all the animations, so the walking, the look around, the breathing, etc. And then there are two variables about walking. So one's having it set to true or false, and then the other one is the speed. I then made a function called onState change, which checks if the session mode is in setup or not, and if it is, it gets a random idle animation. In the process function, it handles all the movement, so figuring out if it has hit the edge or needs to turn or needs to stop or what direction it needs to face, that's all done in the process function. And then there's the random play randomly idle animation, which again checks the state, the session mode, whatever session it is, and makes sure it is in the setup one, and then selects a random animation from the array. And if it is walking, then do the walking stuff, which is set to true, and then play walking animation, whatever else it is, can't remember, and walk for a few seconds. And then eventually it plays the animation at the end. I did have a few issues with making this code work, but eventually I got the hang of it and understood how it works. So I gave the app to a friend who took it away and studied very, very hard. they came back and gave me some feedback. So the feedback they gave me was that there needs to be some sort of help function, so then they can see what to do, how to set the timer, and all that. And they also said that there needs to be some sound, so like a completion sound, because it was hard to tell when it was done. So this is me just setting the help function up by having a button somewhere and you being able to press it, and then a panel pops up and then you've got the helpful information. This is all that is, and the code to go back. So for the sounds, I went to Pixabay, which is basically a free sound place, and I looked up a pop sound for the button presents, which I do try a few and you probably can't hear in the clip, so I'll play them soon. So I look up for a pop sound and I look for a bell animation sound or a bell notification sound. So then when it's complete, you get the notification that it's complete. So while I'm implementing the pop sound, I will let you hear the pop sound. And this is the bell sound. So that's for now. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been working so hard on assets. It's not funny. And there's still quite a lot more to do, like the body and the backgrounds. So that will be next time. I am sorry for the audio. I've been testing out how to do it better than the previous ones. So sorry about that. And I'm sorry this is taking so long. The assets is just taking so much of my time and life is getting a little bit in the way. That's okay though. Anyway, have a lunch. this is a small side note. I have been working on another project, which is basically recreating a game. And I've had so much fun doing that I just want to kind of work on that. That's why this one has been taking a little bit longer than what I want it to. Anyway, have a good day.